Hello everybody and welcome to High Plane Games. Simon here, hope you're all well. And this is Ultimate Racing 2D2 and we are playing in, we're testing out an AI championship. This is by far, at the moment, some of the most requested videos that I've put out recently. People love my AI championships, me commentating over the top and generally being a little bit terrible and watching chaos unfold. So I wanted to bring this back. Why not do it with Ultimate Racing 2D2? Because the beauty of this is that you've got mods and everything else going on. So I thought we'll do a live test of the new 2022 mod that PixelGo's put out. Really like the idea and art style. We're going to do a little bit of modding for it first, I think, beforehand. So just to have a quick nose. So I've been downloading all of these different car sets from different eras of F1, Formula E's in here as well, all of that kind of stuff. These will all be coming in the future. BTCC, oh yes. So look forward to these as separate videos. I just wanted to do a live stream for the F1 stuff to welcome everyone to F1 2022 and hopefully everyone will have a great season. So let's dive in here. I've already started to play around just very, very quickly before we went live, before FP3, and I'm recording this live between FP3 and Quali for the Bahrain 2022 Grand Prix. So, like, this is all going to be very up for debate as to actually how quick everyone is. So what I'm going to do, let's do a little bit of designy stuff here to see actually whose is best. So we can have Red Bull. I don't think Red Bull's quite as fast in a straight line as Mercedes, so we'll put that down ever so slightly. Better acceleration, but they have probably slightly better grip at the moment. And I think Perez and Verstappen probably are that far apart. I'm almost tempted to bump Russell up one from there. Now they're porpoising at the moment, so whilst I agree that they will have better speed. Sorry if you can hear a car going underneath. It's there. But they're porpoising, so I'm going to put them down slightly on grip. So let's leave that there for them. In fact, actually, I'm going to go a little bit further on that to try and make it interesting. So they will have less grip than Red Bull, but they'll be faster in a straight line with better drivers in theory. Ferrari are interesting. So again, I don't think they're quite as fast in a straight line speed as Mercedes, but grip-wise and everything else, all looking quite juicy. No, let's move them back down again. Let's leave them as they are. I think that's quite good. McLaren are looking pretty dodgy at the moment this season, aren't they? So I'm going to drop them back a wee bit. And this all seems to be around grip. And actually, if we make them slightly worse on acceleration for the time being, we'll see how they go. Alpine, again, very difficult to know. I don't think there's quite that much of a gap between what's going on there with the Alpine drivers. I don't think they've got the grip, and they certainly don't have the speed because that Renault engine is the weakest. So what we'll do is we'll bump them up with acceleration and turbo and leave them slightly low on grip. Does that put them in and around McLaren-ish, potentially? Toro Rosso, God, oh dear. Minardi, AlphaTauri, again, I think they've got good grip. I don't think Tsunoda is kicking that ass, but I do think Gasly is. So let's push that one up. I think that car's got grip more than anything else. So let's give that... let's go down but up, if that makes sense. We'll soon see how that goes. Aston Martin, I'm very confused as to where that stands. I'm going to leave it in with Vettel versus Stroll, to be honest. I just don't know quite where they are in anything. So they're going to kind of sit somewhere towards the back. Williams, that car is looking the least fun of the lot, I'm afraid. So again, they'll go back. That visually looks slower than the Aston Martin. Alfa Romeo, though, I think have got some potential here. So I'm going to bump them up a wee bit. I'm also going to bump up Zhou to just one behind Bottas. Yeah, and that looks similar to... better than Aston Martin, better than Williams, around McLaren Alpine-ish. Okay. And Haas, again, same thing. Let's bump these up. Let's get them in there, because I think that's going to be juicy. So I'm going to go with that for my AI stuff to start with. Again, we're learning on the fly. This could all be horrific. And let's dive into some tracks. So we'll do some of the tracks that are originally in the game itself. I feel like we should do Bahrain because it's Bahrain at the moment. Let's pop in some Monaco because it's Monaco. Love me some Austria. Great track. Also a big fan of Canada, actually. That does feel quite straight liney, so we'll add that in. What we got next? Let's keep going. Let's do some Belgium. Get that in. Japan. Everyone loves a bit of Suzuka. I'm a fan of Brazil, but I'm going to leave that till the end. Let's dive onto here. So these are tracks that I've downloaded. So we've got Zandvoort, Watkins Glen. That would be a good an American one. Sonoma. Portimao. Mazzano looks quite good. Let's go for Imola. Is that a new Albert Park by the looks of it? Jerez. Do you know what? Let's do Swago Ring. What else have we got? We've got some historic tracks there. You can see where some of this has gone wrong in the Steam Workshop. Martinsville. Dega, baby. Dirt ovals. Don't want that. Don't want karting tracks. Okay. Do you know what? Let's finish off with Brazil. And then we're done. And then that's our 8 rounds that we'll do for this. Oh, hang on. Continue. So the idea of this, 20 cars, 100% AI, 15 laps, quali, 1 lap each for each round. AI is visible throughout, of course. Spectator mode will be on, though, because I don't want to muck about with it. We will put 10% rain down. I found rain is a real issue with this game because it's like, even though you put in 10%, I sometimes find that it's like 50% rain. So I'm quite, maybe I should leave it with clear. Do you know what? We'll leave it with clear for this because it's a test. Soft, medium and hard tyres available. Rules, penalties are medium, damage medium, boost on, collisions on, off. Yeah, okay. Let's get going. See what ridiculousness we've created for ourselves. So 1 lap around Bahrain. Oh, Verstappen's gone off well. Ahead of Perez. McLaren looking OP already. Gasly up there in second, looking juicy. It looks like Verstappen is off to a good start. Oh, Hamilton's got himself back in front though. And well into the lead with that. Carlos Sainz looking good for Ferrari too. It looks like Hamilton is going to start as we mean to go on with a pole position. Oh dear. Have we just tempted fate with everything? So it's Hamilton, Sainz, Verstappen, McLaren still very OP there with Ricciardo and Norris potentially. Mercedes is Russell 7, Perez. Magnussen in the top 10 for Haas. Wow. Who else is there? Stroll right the way down the back. Aston Martin not looking delish. Okay, so it's 15 laps, different tyre compounds, everything. We're off and away. Hamilton and Sainz in the hard tyres. Verstappen on the medium. Gasly on hard, being absolutely done by Ricciardo, who moves up into third now. Second, is he going to go and try and take the lead from Hamilton? Ooh, a bit of a love nudge there, and that's damaged Ricciardo, to be fair. Everyone else diving through. Albon at the very back in the Williams. Verstappen runs wide. That's allowed Gasly up there in the hard tyres too. And the soft-shod McLarens are starting to struggle as everyone's banging into the back of each other. And that looks like Gasly's going to take the lead for AlphaTauri. And on hard tyres. Round the outside goes Verstappen 2 against Hamilton. It's Gasly, Verstappen, Hamilton, Sainz, Norris, Tsunoda diving through in the AlphaTauri 2. There's Leclerc, Perez and Russell battling away, but they're on soft tyres. So that's not working well as Sainz and Hamilton go wheel to wheel. That was contact between the two up there. Real problems as they push each other down the straights. That's helping Sainz more than Hamilton. And that looks like Tsunoda's going to take action of the lot. Oh, it is. Up into third for Tsunoda just for the time being. Hamilton gets his look back. But up front is Gasly pulling away quite happily from the rest of the field. Ricciardo's been in for a pit stop for repairs as well, and Albon's dropped right the way off the back of the rest of the field, so he must be in trouble too. Norris and Tsunoda having a squabble. Vettel and Ocon at the back not having fun. Ooh, that looked like interesting stuff as Tsunoda and Sainz are in for repairs and new tyres. That's allowed the Alfa Romeos up and through. Russell dropping back too. Latifi trying to cling on in the Williams as best as he can. But up front, it's Verstappen back ahead of Gasly. Touching the two. You can see in the top left there. Oh, everyone's in. Oh, not everyone. Hamilton and Leclerc. Look at the problems that they've got. In terms of damage, Russell too. That looks like Magnussen's knackered his car out. Hamilton gets out just ahead of Leclerc. Sainz is in there too. Leclerc's on soft tyres though. He might try and push his way round. How many tyres? Yeah, 6 to 10 laps the soft tyres look for as Sainz gets round Leclerc. The boost and the turbo really pushing stuff here for them lot as they try to catch up to Nicholas Latifi and Kevin Magnussen, who I think will pit. Yeah, look at the damage on that car. Verstappen in, Perez in, Gasly in. Gasly really pushing away there. 3.5 seconds behind Guan Yu Zhou, who's suddenly up into fourth. Bottas into third. The Alfa Romeos doing their own thing, really. Mick Schumacher's in second. Lando Norris leads. What have we done to ourselves? Norris into the pits. Mick Schumacher leads for Haas. What alternative world are we living in? Loving this. Bottas second, Zhou third. Admittedly, they've not stopped yet. Gasly has and is leading the race, really. Then it's Latifi, Norris. Oh, who's that in problems? Perez. Okay. What is going on in this game? Verstappen there takes a dive past Hamilton. He is damaged. I think that might mean he might come in for a second stop very soon, as that's Guan Yu Zhou in for Alfa Romeo up front. Gasly now up into third. Closing in on Bottas slowly, but Mick Schumacher's doing all right. Again, it's about staying clean as much as anything else. Terrible time for the Aston Martins though. Back 2 positions. Oh, what's going on here? That's the Alpines having a squabble with the Williamses. Albon really struggling. Yet to pit. Hard tyres. About to lose it all, I think. Who's that in the pits? It's Bottas. Comes out behind this gaggle. Hamilton, Verstappen, Russell and Leclerc all squabbling away. I think Leclerc's going to be the one that loses out there on the hard tyres, but also bullied around. You can see Sainz, same problem there. Just lacking all of the things. That means that Gasly, leading the race, well, he's pitted. He doesn't need to pit again because he's on hard tyres, but Lando Norris is on the soft and closing him right down very, very quickly. Look at that. The speed of that as loads of cars into the pits towards the back end of the field. Tsunoda and Leclerc, Sainz in for 2 stops. Ocon and Alonso 2. Norris into the lead. Juicy. Gasly second. Mick Schumacher third. Can't believe that. Hamilton, that's Perez in for a second stop. This is all damage problems though. Bottas, Verstappen, Russell, that's Perez through. Oh! Squeezy for Zhou and Sainz. I think Zhou's going to regret that because that's dropped him a bit of damage and he's dropping back. Ricciardo outside the top 10 as well for McLaren. Not worked out well for them. Everyone else just kind of flopping their way through. Norris, everyone on the lead lap, which is good, but Norris leading the way. Gasly keeping him honest. It's not as if he's like millions of miles away behind. I think that's because Norris's tyres are now starting to really choke. Now you can see he's got less tyre life than Mick Schumacher, who's closing down. We can't have a Haas winning or on the podium. This is crazy. Look at that. Bottas gets past Hamilton. I think I might have made these cars a little bit wonky. Then Russell, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez. That's Leclerc attacking Zhou. Don't think that's going to change just yet. But yeah, 2 stopping does not seem to be the way. And that is Latifi being lapped by Norris, unfortunately. So, Norris leads, Gasly second, Mick Schumacher third. I can't believe this. Then it's Bottas, Hamilton. That car looks knackered. What's happened there? Real problems for that car. Then it's Russell, Verstappen, Sainz and Perez. Again, it's damage that's caused so much of these problems, I think. As we just go down the field. Not tons to deal with in terms of big, huge battles, but I think we're going to have one soon. Yep, it's because Bottas is lapping Latifi. And actually that spread out the Gasly-Bottas battle. But Mick Schumacher up into second. Final lap. Can he catch Lando Norris? Don't look like he can. I think Norris has got this one in the bag now. What an alternative world this game is putting us in. Have I made some people OP? Norris wins, Mick Schumacher second. Gasly holds on for the final spot on the podium ahead of Bottas. Then it's Hamilton and Russell. Sainz. Verstappen just keeps ahead of Perez. Leclerc, Zhou, Tsunoda, and Ricciardo, Vettel. K-Mag down in 15. That's how, like, the difference of the AI were there. Crazy. Stroll, Alonso. Mick Schumacher's got round Norris now, bizarrely. So yeah, there we go. Mick Schumacher fastest lap of the race as well. So the points for this goes 30 down to 1 point for 19th as we scroll through. So as you were, as they cross the line, Latifi the non-scorer there. Alpine having a shocker. So that's your championship order. Constructors wise, McLaren lead the way. What? Then Mercedes, Haas, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and so on and so forth down to Williams at the back. So that's round 1 done. Let's go off to Monaco. What's the worst that could happen? So this will favour grip and acceleration over anything else. So we should see a slightly different set of cars, I would imagine, up front. And it's the Ferraris up there. Carlos Sainz doing a good job with Russell. Norris still up there in third, though, interestingly. But yeah, 2 clearly out front. From the rest, Verstappen now pulling their way through. Hamilton and Perez starting to get around things as well as Norris starts to fall away. And that looks to me like a pole for Georgie Porgy. At the back of the field, the Williams duo not really with the rest of the field, unfortunately. Everyone else all nice and close together. Showing the top 10. Gasly doing well. Alonso up there for Alpine after their shocker last time around. But yep, Russell on pole. Now, what's going on in terms of the tyres? It's medium versus hard. And Sainz losing out on the start there as Verstappen looks like he's about to take Russell, is he? No, he's not. They're through. Norris in the hard tyres up onto second. That'll do quite nicely for him. Real mixture of tyre strategies again, which is great. Lando Norris goes to the inside, gets the lead from George Russell. Just about. The Red Bulls squabbling around behind. Latifi really lost out at the start there. I don't know what happened to him. But it is Lando Norris leading the way, but on hard tyres ahead of George Russell. Then it's Perez and Verstappen. Perez goes round the outside of Verstappen. Soft versus medium tyres. Ooh, Russell makes a mistake. Rouse. And Perez nudges into the lead. Does he? Yes, he does. Norris is going to lose out hugely here. For a car that I've penalised to make it go slower after FP3, I don't know how that car's in third place. Gasly doing well. Mick Schumacher again punching above his weight in 7th. Ooh, Carlos Sainz in big trouble. That's too much damage, and that's hurt Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin. Ooh, everyone's in. Look at the amount of people with damage. Sainz, Vettel, Ocon, Leclerc, Bottas, Zhou and Alonso all in for the pit stops. That's helped Latifi. He was having a torrid time. And that totally changes the race order because look, Russell's leading. And that's Hamilton sneaking through. Didn't choose to pit for damage. Look at the wow he's blasting through. It's a shame with this game that there's not a damage modifier so that you can have like light or hard damage. It's either like on or off. Everyone really in trouble. But yeah, Russell leads the way ahead of Perez, Gasly, Hamilton. Is that? Yeah. Norris and Schumacher in. They've clearly smacked each other too much as well. Problems for the two. Everyone else diving through. Tsunoda looked like he was knackered as well in that car. Yep. Back up front though. Russell keeping his powder clean. Gasly ahead of Perez. The more those two hit each other, the more that's just going to slow each other down, unfortunately, in the battle for the lower steps of the podium. I think they're probably faster than Russell because they're on softer tyres. The soft tyres last 8 to 12 laps. How long does medium go? 10 to 14. So in theory, if you look at that green bar next to Russell's car as Perez and Gasly and Hamilton are in, that's that Verstappen free as well. We're just past halfway. There's more than half of that bar green. You'd think that Russell could try and make it to the end, potentially. Verstappen immediately starting to wheel him in a little bit. So we'll watch how that goes. Ricciardo non-stopping, I think, in the McLaren, third. Perez and Gasly back out after their stops. Tsunoda not stopping too. Neither is Kevin Magnussen in the hard tyres. It's just you've got to try and keep it clean and cling on to the rest. Lance Stroll into the pits from the top 10. That car looking a little bit worse for wear. Vettel last. He's stopped twice though, as he tries to not hold up Verstappen. But Verstappen into the pits there, I think he must have hit Vettel because he is more damaged than he should be. And here's the big problem now for George Russell, because as we've got the blue flags, and the blue flags work relatively well in this game, you just got to make sure that you don't cause problems as you're being lapped. Like that for Alonso, hitting the pit lane entrance. Big problems for him. That's let Latifi go. And it'll probably drop Alonso down to last. Indeed it has. By quite some way. So Russell continues to lead. Gasly closing him down. 5 seconds off. Now 4.4. That's speedy recovery. Tsunoda up to 5th in the AlphaTauri. Yet to stop. Same for Ricciardo. That car looking worse for wear. Tsunoda's a little bit too. But at this point in the race, I would just kind of cling on for dear life if I could. Same for Russell. Make those tyres work. What is going on here? Verstappen versus Tsunoda. Latifi versus Alonso. And that's Norris and Hamilton trying to get through on the lot of them. Ooh, tight through the tunnel. I think Alonso will get that. No, he takes the tight line in, which the AI don't seem to like. I suspect we might see Tsunoda having to pit at the next lap for that. So that's Norris into 6th, Hamilton 7, Verstappen's 5. Ricciardo having a great run in 4th in that McLaren. Here's Perez and Gasly. Russell's had to pit. For tyres, that has boogered his race, frankly. Comes out behind Zhou to lap the Alfa Romeo, but that's 4th place. Ricciardo and Tsunoda then, the two that aren't stopping. Wow. That was overpowered. Russell straight into 3rd, but I think he's too far back to do anything about the battle for the lead. Final lap then, Gasly or Perez? Who's going to win? I mean, it could happen. Alternative world we're living in. Down into the final corner. I think Gasly's got it, unless Albon's going to get in the way whilst getting lapped. No. Gasly wins, Perez 2nd, Russell 3rd, Verstappen 4, Ricciardo is 5th, then it's Hamilton, Norris, that car looks knackered, and so does Sainz. Tsunoda didn't stop, comes home 9th, Mick Schumacher 10th this time around, ahead of Ocon, Leclerc, Magnussen. Bottas being pushed out of the way, he might lose out to Stroll. No. Too late. Albon, Vettel, Zhou, Alonso and Latifi, your final points scorer. Well, Latifi gets nothing, to be honest. There we go. So, Gasly leads the championship. What? Ahead of Norris, Russell, Perez, Mick Schumacher 5th in the standings. I mean, you'd love to see it. Then it's Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Sainz and Ricciardo. Tsunoda leads the second half of the field all the way down there. Latifi still yet to score after the 2 rounds. But interestingly, Mercedes lead the constructors, so it's as if nothing has changed there overall. Only 1 point clear of AlphaTauri. I think I might have made them a bit too good. Oh dear. Okay, round 3 of 8. Bring it on. Off to Austria. This is just so that I could do Toto impressions, to be fair. I have no other alternative motives of putting it around here. I do love this circuit to race on, though. Good fun. This is looking good for Mercedes up front at the moment. Ferrari kicking in and about there too. Oh, juicy at the final corner. I don't know who's got that. I think Hamilton got the pole in the end, didn't he? Yes, he did. 0.05 of a second ahead of Russell. Sainz up there. Ferrari showing good form. Red Bull in and about. Gasly, our championship leader, 7th. Both Hasses, 10 and 11, looking good. Alpine in the middle. Alfa Romeo not so good here. Williams not too far off the back of everyone else this time around, but clearly still the slowest car. Stroll not doing well. All right, Hamilton soft tyres, choosing he doesn't want to get involved in anyone else's drama. Russell, though, is using his boost and a bit of slipstream to try and catch up, although Sainz pushes him out of the way quite dramatically up into 2nd place. This is a contact sport. It's more NASCAR BTCC, isn't it? As Verstappen and Leclerc go either side of Russell and take 3rd and 4th away. Leclerc now up to 3rd. Going to go for Sainz? Yes, he is. Thank you very much. And it's a 3. Ooh, ouch. My poor front wing. No good for him. Now it's a Ferrari 1-2 as they go around the final couple of corners. This is something I was expecting to see a little bit more of, actually, at the beginning of the season. It's taken a couple of races to get going, but Ferrari's hitting the front and doing well. Drama towards the back, but they need to stop taking each other off the track if that's going to work. Work together. Hamilton battling away with Verstappen, but Verstappen's on hard tyres. That's going to be tricky if Verstappen can keep his car clean, obviously. So Russell gets back past him. That's Norris passing Gasly. Gasly in 7th/6th place. 7th now. But he's on hard tyres. Mick Schumacher up there on his own in soft tyres. That could work out nicely. Ocon also in 10th on hard tyres for Alpine. That could run quite nicely. Even the Williamses have done all right. And that's because we've got quite a lot of pit stoppers. So Alonso downwards have all been into the pits, putting on soft and medium tyres. Not sure if that will get the soft tyres through to the end of the run though, so that could be problems for Alonso, Tsunoda, Vettel and Zhou. Sainz up front, leading the way quite nicely though, and that is Russell taking Hamilton. Slipstream working a treat for him, and working a treat for Norris, who's back up there into 4th position, dragging Gasly with him. 2 seconds back to Mick Schumacher. But the more they battle, the more that's going to bring the Haas back into play. He's having an absolutely rip-roaring day so far. That's Ricciardo. Ocon being caught by Leclerc and Verstappen. They have pitted. Ocon has not. The problem here being that obviously they want to have a nice clean run. They get nicely through there. Lots of boost. That gets Leclerc ahead of Ocon. Verstappen will be next to have a go. That's Albon under pressure from the stopped Magnussen and Tsunoda. Trying to go around the outside there, Magnussen. Good move. Same for Tsunoda. Vettel about to do the same on Zhou. Yeah, Russell 2 seconds clear at the minute. Medium tyres versus hard for Gasly and less damage. So yeah, real problems for them. Sainz third, but he has stopped. That's going to be crucial. Let's see how quickly he can close in on everyone else. Leclerc not able to shake Sainz, and look, Verstappen has kind of rejoined back in again with all of those pit stops. Bottas yet to pit as well in the top 10 for Alpha. See how we get on. Georgie Porge Russell. 3.9 seconds clear now of Gasly, who's got Sainz all over him. Sainz going to get through into second. Yes, he is. Nice. Well done. Is Latifi getting in the way, though? A little bit, but it doesn't affect the move too much. Okay, Leclerc is next in fourth. He can't shake Verstappen. Oh, it's giving him a push. I didn't know this was Dega. Around the outside goes Verstappen up into fourth. Mick Schumacher punching far too far above his weight. Now having a go and passing Leclerc. Okay. Okay, fam. Fair enough. Albon and Vettel, those two have had ding-dongs. Into the pits they come for repairs. Lap 11 it was for them. That's Vettel's second stop. Latifi's first. He was, I think, trying to get to the end on hard. Oh, Mick Schumacher in trouble. And that was contact with Norris whilst they're trying to lap Vettel and the Williams duos. So, yeah, all a bit of carnage going on there. That's Ocon getting past Tsunoda. Let's have a look. Yeah, Mick Schumacher really not having fun. Gets back past Norris. Norris in real trouble with damage, unfortunately for him. I think that could be the end of his attempt of trying to get sixth position. But I think this could get Mick Schumacher up into fifth because Leclerc is heavily damaged too. I wouldn't pit personally. It's going to take more time than that. But yeah, look, he can't do anything about the Williams down the straight, and so he's stuck with Albon. Up front though, that is Sainz getting past Russell for the lead as they lap Guan Yu Zhou. Ooh, problems for Russell, and that has robbed him of the win by the looks of it. Sainz, that one-stop strategy, faster than the no-stop for Russell, especially as he's on medium tyres. Yeah, look how knackered they are on the final lap. That orange marker down at the top, you can see it on the grip, can't you? So it's going to be a Ferrari win. Carlos Sainz takes the win from George Russell. Gasly's going to get third, is he? No! Verstappen yoinks it at the last moment from Gasly. Then Mick Schumacher, Leclerc, Hamilton, Norris. God, that car looks awful. I think Norris beat Bottas there. Then it was Alonso, Ricciardo, Ocon, Perez well off there. Tsunoda, Magnussen, Zhou, Stroll, Vettel, Albon. And Latifi? Yeah. Yeah, Norris did hold off Bottas. So what does that do to the championship? Let's take a look down the bottom first. Latifi still yet to score. Oops. Albon's next. Aston Martin having a torrid time there. The next worst two. Alonso not having a great run. Shows better. Then it's Magnussen. Ocon, his better finish so far this season. Then it's Tsunoda and Co moving in. Bottas into the top 10. Leclerc's not had luck at all down in 10th. Hamilton only 7th behind Mick Schumacher. Yes. And it's still Gasly leading the way. Mercedes do lead the Constructors' Championship. Equal points for Red Bull and AlphaTauri. That would be an interesting, guys. It's been a while since we've had the sister teams kind of the wrong way round. Like late 2000s it was like that, wasn't it, when Red Bull had a particularly sticky year and Toro Rosso beat them, I think, in terms of points. Interesting. Okay, round 4. Let's go to Canada. Let's see what we got with the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc moving around. He's got to contend with Gasly and Co. Moves up to second now. It looks like Russell's got a good lap going. Can he hold on to it throughout this final little stint? This is definitely one of those races that it is straight line speed that matters the most in acceleration. The Williams is well off the back of everyone else. The rest of the field within a second. And Mick Schumacher 18th. Oh dear. Not great for the guy 5th in the championship. Christ. But a Mercedes won too. That works very nicely for them. Leclerc best of the rest after that. And Alpine, 9th and 10th. For the team that I penalised for having the lowest engine. On the track where in theory you would blast the most potentially. They're doing well. But yeah, Hamilton leads the way then. Verstappen on medium tyres, not able to get round Leclerc. Slipstreaming will be huge on this track. Norris doing very well getting around Russell. That's Gasly about to have a go at Perez and Russell as well. Doesn't quite work. Bottas gets around Alonso and Ocon. Ocon again heavily damaged early on. Mick Schumacher up to 14th from 18th. Yeah, look, Vettel. Big trouble in that Aston Martin. He'll be into the pits at the end of that lap, I'm sure. Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Russell, Perez, your top 6. Different strategies going on with Gasly on the hard tyres. Top hard tyre runner, and that's Leclerc getting past Hamilton for the lead. I told you it was going to be a juicy run of slipstreaming, and that has worked beautifully for Leclerc. Vettel's not too far up the road because he had to pit. Very short lap this. A couple of more in this time around as well. That is Ocon and Magnussen. Ooh, as Alonso gets sent out onto the grass in his battle with Gasly. This is holding up Carlos Sainz. I think he's going to try and blast around the pair of them, and indeed he does. Gets past Gasly. He's going to get past Alonso too. Yes. Beautifully done. Our lead duo up front looking juicy. Into the hairpin. Down the back straight. That's looking okay. Perez up into 3rd. Norris holding on. Verstappen medium tyres dropping back slightly. Sainz having a good go. And that is Gasly into the pits with damage on hard tyres. So he's lost the advantage of having soft tyres on that. Comes out 16th behind the yet to stop Latifi. Yet to score Latifi. Ooh, Stroll. That's not the ideal racing line, mate. Look, yeah, loads in. Russell's in. Oh, they're all in this time around. Lap 7. So it feels early, but not too early in a way that you couldn't limp it to the end if you wanted to. As that's Russell getting past Zhou for 10th place. Oh, and running out ridiculously wide. And that's actually damaged Zhou quite a bit. I bet we'll see him in the pits this lap. Yep. Okay, diving up front. It's Max Verstappen leading the way, but he's now got lapped traffic. Oh, Albon! That's not how you do the pit lane. Uh-oh! Doing a Coulthard Moreno on us. And it's looking awful for Ocon as well, I think, is in huge trouble up ahead. And Verstappen needs to watch this because he's got 2 seconds over Sainz. They're going to pit. They are. Oh, Ocon! That's trouble for Ocon. He's going to try and want to get into that pit lane, I think. I don't know if the AI will know. Oh, what's gone on with Gasly and Alonso? That's more trouble there for them. Battle for 9th and 10th. It looks as if Albon has gone round again. Oh, look at the state of Ocon's car. That's not good. And he's got a penalty. I think that's for cutting the circuit. So that is going to change. That's Perez through. Yep, up into 5th as they couldn't get round the limping Esteban Ocon. But at least he's gone into the pits and got it sorted now. Albon lost out with all of that too. Up front though, Max Verstappen serenely on his way. Yet to stop. Doesn't look like he's probably going to stop. 1.9 seconds clear of Hamilton. Hamilton losing time there. Over 2 seconds clear now. Getting it back down again as Verstappen has to lap Zhou. Does not pit. Is that Zhou trying to push him out the way? He is. What's going on? I know he's on soft tyres, but geez Louise. Know your blue flag etiquette. Sainz and Ricciardo have not stopped either in the Ferrari and McLaren respectively. The problem with this for Zhou is that if Zhou keeps hitting Max, he might end up thinking, I'm too damaged and need to pit. And look, that's Leclerc getting past Hamilton for 2nd place. This is key because Zhou's getting in the way. And now look, final lap, Leclerc and Hamilton right onto the back. Zhou gets out of the way for Leclerc. Is Charles Leclerc about to go an absolute dive bomb from behind and take the win of this race? from nowhere, or can Hamilton spring a surprise and do the pair of them? Oh, look, Leclerc gets it wrong. That pushes Hamilton onto the grass. One final corner to go. Look at the boost. Leclerc around the outside takes the win on the final corner. Does he? No! Verstappen gets it back right on the line. What a move. Final lap. Craziness. Deary me. Full juice all round. Okay, so I think everyone's crossed the line, you would think. I think it's just doing that final 30-second countdown. So, Verstappen it was then that won that race from Leclerc, who was fastest there, fastest lap. Then Hamilton. Perez comes home fourth, ahead of Sainz and Russell. McLaren 7-8, I think they'll be pleased with that. Always impressed with this budget title. Yes, David, I love this game, especially with all the mods in. Then Gasly, Alonso, Schumacher into 11, then Bottas, Tsunoda, Stroll, Zhou. Latifi finally getting some points on the board. And Vettel, Albon, Ocon with his bizarre I can't get into the pit lane problems there. So Verstappen now leads the championship ahead of Gasly in this alternative world that we're in. Then it's Russell, Sainz, Hamilton and Norris, Perez. Finally getting some results on the board. Mick Schumacher slowly slipping back down the order after his heroics from round one. Then it's Leclerc. Bottas not too far out the top 10 though. Alpine still not really firing on all cylinders. Aston Martin are having a shocker. Williams not quite with the rest of the field. And there it's close at the top. Mercedes versus Red Bull. Very juicy. McLaren leapfrog AlphaTauri and all of that as well. But something tells me Ferrari are still to come. So let's go to Belgium next. Halfway through the season. Let's see how we're going to get on with this one lap of quali. Whoa. Esteban Ocon right up the front. Hello. What alternative world are we in again? As Russell again takes the lead. Russell's very good on qualifying. He doesn't seem to be translating it into actual race results at the moment, though. That's the problem. We kind of make our way across the line. Well, that's definitely a Russell pole to me. Williams is well off the back there. Might have to bump them up in a future run. Alfa Romeo didn't go so well either. Haas slipping towards the back. Schumacher's early glory runs not quite translating. Ooh, Verstappen in 8. That's not good. Ocon's best of the season so far, up in 9th. Yeah, definitely. That's the most commanding pole we've seen so far. But then he's chosen to start on the hard tyres. This is all going to go horribly wrong. Leclerc and Hamilton straight through as a Sainz. The beauty of this back straight is the pure amount of slipstream that you can get alongside your boost, so it means you can never really escape. Around the outside, look at the wow the Ferraris are going, but the damage on, just look, those Ferraris, too much damage early on. Sainz takes the lead, great stuff from Leclerc, but I'm worried that that damage is not going to be sustainable for too long. Oh, Perez, hello. What was going on there? Nice one. Ocon finally showing some form there. K-Mag up in the top 10 as well for Haas, looking juicy. Verstappen all on his own in 10th, but on hard tyres. Maybe that's sometimes we've seen so far that that's been a good way to run. Is to just avoid everyone else. It's Leclerc being absolutely mullered down the straight. Ooh. Stay on the black stuff, Sergio. You know you can. Mick Schumacher into the pits early after a pit stop onto medium tyres. Might have to pit again with that, you know. Yep, Sainz leads the way. Russell, Ricciardo up to 3rd then, and Leclerc. Ocon versus Perez. We've not seen Alpine running this high. And there's Alonso making his way through as well. And that's because that looks like Lewis Hamilton's got too much damage to meet. I reckon he'll pit at the end of this lap on those hard tyres. So not able to use the strategic value of that hard tyre. Yep, he's in. So's Perez too. So that's problems. I bet Norris might not be too far off too if he clashes with Magnussen much more. As Alonso takes teammate Ocon. My goodness, Alpine need those points. Sainz, though, leading the way. 3/4 of a second, nearly up to 1 full second. Soft tyres versus Russell on hard. That's Leclerc going up in medium tyres in second. So that kind of makes sense over time. Let's see if the Alpines can make much of it. Into the pits then, Kevin Magnussen. And he gets out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. That's how crazy damage can do your run. Norris, Stroll. Ooh, Alexander Albon. That's not a good look for the Williams driver. Soft tyres, was running 14th. That was quite good for him. But sadly, I think he'll be into the pits very shortly. Although Tsunoda might have pushed him somewhere else first. Bottas in as well on hard tyres for repairs. So it's not working out well for him. And Sainz choosing to bail out for the pits bang on halfway. If he's going for another load of softs, he is. This could be very good for Carlos Sainz. That's literally the optimum strategy. So he's back out in third. That leaves Charles Leclerc in the lead then for the Ferrari. Medium tyres. Russell on hard. So it's going to be, can Russell on hards hold off Sainz on softs coming at him? As long as no one gets in the way. Let's see how we go. Leclerc continues on as well. But look at these back markers. We've got Bottas and Albon battling away. Williams and Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is faster than the Williams, so Bottas will be, yeah, look, literally pushing him out the way. And Russell's going to go around the outside of a lot of them, is he? Ooh-hoo-hoo! Jiminy crickets. And Leclerc uses the boost to get back through again, but he's into the pits. That's the problem with that. That battle has cost him all of that damage. Where does he come back out again? Behind Sainz. Ahead of Alonso? Behind Alonso, and Alonso's pitted. That surprises me. That's also an alternative line for Eau Rouge that I quite often use in race department, Fernando. Well done. As we go along. But yeah, Russell continuing on, but he's being caught at a quick pace by Sainz and Alonso, actually. So let's see how that's going on. Alonso's being caught up by Leclerc. Hey, Silverwolf, hope you're well. Leclerc straight past Fernando. Next up is Alex Albon to get past. Ooh, yeah, nicely lapped. What's going on elsewhere in the field as Lance Stroll pits? Not a good day again for Aston Martin, is it? That's Mick Schumacher. Can't get past Guan Yu Zhou. That's unfortunate for him. Tsunoda's on his own, as is Gasly. It's not a good day for AlphaTauri, despite doing exceptionally well in the championship. That's Norris getting past K-Mag. Hamilton, that early damage really costing him problems here. 9th position, catching up on Ricciardo. And it's good to see the Alpines doing well, although I wouldn't have expected them to be battling the Red Bulls. This game's mad. You desperately try to like make a mod and tinker the performance values, and then you get craziness like this. So Alonso back up onto a podium slot. I think he's all right there, and he's got it sorted. But we've missed it. Sainz is in the lead. Well clear of Russell. Russell not pitting. Very valid strategy, but I said Carlos Sainz's strategy was bang on point, stopping for softs bang on halfway. You can only do it if you've got really like low damage. Now you can see Russell has got the damage. And I think Fernando might well mug him on the last lap here. Look, he's using all of his boost. Straight back onto the back. Ooh. Kind of. Yes, he's done it. Nando up into second place. Russell has no answer. But Carlos Sainz is the winner. Carlos Sainz wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Nicely done. Second win in a row for Ferrari. Well, no, it's not second win in a row for Ferrari. Max knocked him on the line. Alonso second, Russell third, Leclerc 4, Verstappen 5. Well, this was a train. Then Ricciardo, Hamilton, Ocon, Perez, and Norris looking like rounding out the top 10. Cool. Crazy races going on. Let's just confirm that result. I was too busy with my eyes all over the place with that. So that was, yes, Sainz. Alonso fastest lap. Okay. Yeah, so good to see Alpine getting some decent points on the board. They've had a sluggish start to the year. AlphaTauri's worst race of the season so far. Gasly not doing great. Aston Martin just nowhere to be seen. And again, Williams towards the back there. So that means Carlos Sainz now leads the championship. I mean, what kind of... This would be a wonderful world to live in. Ahead of Verstappen, then Russell. Gasly now down to 4th after leading early on. Hamilton, another poor run there for him. Leclerc, Norris and Perez. Mick Schumacher still in the top 10 somehow. Ricciardo, but that result boosts Alonso up to 11th. Nice. Then it's Bottas, Tsunoda, Ocon, and so on down. Aston Martin and Williams pretty much being left for dead at the back. And then thinking constructors, it is Mercedes versus Ferrari versus Red Bull right at the top. At least that bit's gone right. McLaren, I don't think they're the fourth best team at the minute, judging after FP sessions, if I'm perfectly honest, but we'll go with that. Then AlphaTauri, Haas ahead of Alpine, Alfa Romeo, and then a big gap back to Aston Martin and Williams, who are struggling. Let's go to Japan next then. Let's see how this goes. Get on board with the Perez. Oh, this looks like a Mercedes out front. But Leclerc's taking battle. Is it going to be Russell? Is it going to be Hamilton? Is Sainz going to spring a surprise? Sorry, Leclerc? No. Juicy. That means it is pole for George Russell then, ahead of Sainz, Hamilton and Leclerc. There's always a slight weirdness with this game that not everyone crosses the line at the same time at the start of the quali lap. So when you see everyone cross the line at the end, it's not always picture like 100th of a second perfect as to where everything else goes. McLaren doing well. Both Hasses next to each other, 10 and 11. Nice. Interesting. Latifi ahead of Albon as well. Okay. So we've got Russell on the medium, Sainz on the softs though, and the inside line for turn 1, straight into the lead for Carlos Sainz, and that's Hamilton on the mediums coming through as well onto Russell. Leclerc there on hard tyres. I bet he's just hoping to stay his nose clean and keep on going. But Sainz leads the way then from the rest, and this is a tricky track, this one, because you can get the outside for one corner, the inside for the next, and really go with it. And look at Pierre Gasly again in that for Tauri. Hard tyres up to 3rd place. Hashtag juicy. Oh, that's not the racing line, Gasly. That's allowed Perez to mug Russell because he was wrong-footed by the mistake of Gasly. But Perez, that's quite a bit of damage for lap 2. Ooh, Verstappen on the grass. That's cost him potential time to Norris. Through they go. Everyone's up there. Ooh, Esteban. That was using boost and straight line slipstreaming to best effect. I suppose it's not boost. You could pretend to call it KERS. Let's go Gasly. Hey, Gasly's got fans in the chat. He's doing a fine job at the minute, but Sainz out front doing very well. Vettel down at the back. Poor guy. The two Hasses running well in the midfield. Oh, is that Mick Schumacher about Schumacher versus Alonso? Haven't we seen that before somewhere in time? Thinky emoji face. Bottas up ahead. Up front though. Oh, that's Leclerc trying to get past. Oh yeah, Norris really wrong-footed there. Again, that's someone with damage, so I wonder if he's going to pit at the end of the lap or not. No sure. Oh, who was that in? Was that... That's Ocon getting past Gasly, but that was Perez and Verstappen in very early on. Perez hard tyres out just ahead of the gaggle of Stroll and Tsunoda. That could work to his advantage. Verstappen lost out to Latifi there too, so back out in 18th. That's a very early stop. I think that might see them buried in the traffic. We'll see how it goes, but Sainz romping away up front. It's around this time though. The soft tyres last for 7 to 11 laps around this track. It's at this point that the medium tyres will start to be faster than the softs. So we'll start to see that back gap potentially close. Russell with a bit of damage up against Gasly. Ooh, no, not quite. Norris next up, then Leclerc. Mick Schumacher being punted around by Alonso. I think they'll both be pitting for damage repairs. Yes, they will. Schumacher on the soft tyres. Could potentially go to mediums, these two, and then get to the end of the race. Yep, absolutely. And there we go. And that's what it kind of shows. Look, Verstappen absolutely buried. Mick Schumacher and Alonso not too far behind, despite having all made their pit stops quite early. So Sainz being reeled in now by Lewis Hamilton up at the front. Sainz trying to make those tyres last as long as possible. I would suggest probably pitting and going on to a pair of softs at the end of this lap, Carlos. If you're listening. Mr. AI. Gasly into third. Norris, Russell again. Look, damage really causing a problem. Running wide at that corner loses lots of time. Bottas high up the field as well. And that is Carlos in. I'd expect Russell in as well. Yep. And Bottas in from 7th position. Zhou in as well from 8th. K-Mag's going to boost up the field, and that is Perez through. And look, leapfrogging George Russell in all of that. And he's on hard tyres, so he'll be able to get through to the end. So we'll see how that goes. Stroll up in the top 10 for a brief moment before Bottas displaces him, interestingly. Ocon having a good run up in 7th as well. So let's keep an eye on that Alpine. What can he do? That is Latifi getting lapped, unfortunately, by Lewis Hamilton. 5 seconds off the rest. I don't know what's happened there to Latifi. Another poor run. But Gasly, he's not stopped. Neither has Lando Norris. The two of them, I think, are going to try and go to the end. The tyres run for 15 laps. What can they do? Hamilton's in. He's bailed early. Clearly, medium tyres aren't able to make the whole distance of this race on the twisty Suzuka circuit. And you can see actually Latifi's caught back up with Albon again, so those two having a squabble over the final point. And that is Carlos Sainz straight into Leclerc. Nom nom nom, I'll have that second place, thank you very much, says Carlos. This could be another fine masterclass of strategy. Laps Albon goes to the inside of Gasly into the lead. Beautifully done by Carlos Sainz. Lap 12 of 15 coming to an end. Gasly's still on for a great result in that AlphaTauri. I'm assuming he'll make it to the end. Just need to make sure he doesn't get hit too much by Leclerc. Norris topping out there. There's Hamilton trying to catch his way back up again. Is he going to go around the outside of Norris? Yes, he is. Beautifully done. And this is Gasly under attack by Leclerc and Hamilton. This might not be a podium finish after all for the AlphaTauri driver. But Albon very much getting in the way. And look at that. I think that's buggered Leclerc. Look at the spray coming off the back of that car, or smoke rather. It's not wet weather. That's done Leclerc in. So Gasly could well let Hamilton go and claim a juicy third place for this. And I think that's exactly what he's chosen to do, because he's got a little bit of smoke coming out the back of his car too. All of that is great news for Carlos Sainz, who's had possibly the most straightforward race we've had all season long. Mind you, it was straightforward at Spa as well. So this is looking great for Carlos Sainz. Perez only just ahead of Bottas. Ooh, Ocon's in trouble against Mick Schumacher. Just quickly run down to the bottom because we're going to see Carlos Sainz crossing the line to take a second win of the season. Carlos Sainz wins at Japan ahead of Hamilton. Gasly on the podium for third, then Norris. Leclerc just beats home George Russell. Then it's Sergio Perez. Oh, who got that? I think that was Mick Schumacher. Just beat home Bottas. Then it was Ocon, Verstappen and Magnussen, Zhou, Tsunoda, Alonso. The two Aston Martins nose to tail. Ricciardo having a shocker in 18th. I think Albon's going to beat home Latifi for that last points position. So Sainz, he was the fastest on the track. Won that race fair and square. So what does that do to the championship then? Sainz, 134 points ahead of Russell, 117. Gasly, 113. 2 clear of Verstappen. Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, Perez, Mick Schumacher still in the top 10. I've got no idea how. Then it was Ricciardo. Bottas, best of the second half, ahead of Alonso. Magnussen not quite scoring the same as his teammate. Aston Martin Absolute shocker continues. Latifi just with that 3 points from the Carnage race. Okay, so Ferrari now lead the championship over everyone else. So that's a good switch of position up top there. Red Bull dropping away there because of some poor runs. AlphaTauri have closed up onto McLaren, interestingly, with Ricciardo only scoring 2 points last race. Alfa Romeo only 4 behind Alpine. All to play for. And here's the curveball. So Imola is from the user, from the Steam Workshop. So every other track in this series has AI lines determined and have been drawn and created from the developer. Imola is one where the track has actually been designed by just random people and put up onto the Steam Workshop. I think it looks nice, but I'm slightly concerned and worried about AI lines. So this could go absolutely chaotically, which is part of the fun of the test, to see whether or not it does. So let's ride on with our championship leader as we wander around. I mean, it looks like the AI line's going okay. We'll soon find out. It's normally when it comes to racing that it all goes horribly wrong. But Leclerc, clearly he does not want to be the number 2 Ferrari driver. Is he going to make it onto pole? Oof. It looked like it as they crossed the line. We'll have to make sure. So, yeah. Oh, well, equal time, but Leclerc given it over Verstappen. Hamilton, Perez and Russell. Gasly in there in 6th. Magnussen in the top 10, as is Ocon again. Stroll sandwiching the Williamses. Aston Martin, not a good run. Okay. Wish the world luck. This could go wrong. Verstappen then leads the way ahead of... Ooh, big crash. That didn't last very long for Verstappen. Third to first to 4th now as they all make their way through. And look, yeah, look, they're all bunching up towards the back. Real trouble there for Stroll. It looks like Albon, Mick Schumacher in trouble. Magnussen too. So lots of damage at the end of the first lap, though. It is Leclerc leading the way on hard tyres. No one wanting to pit for repairs. Hamilton, ooh, the Tozer hairpin clearly is... Let's try and smash something. The map in the top right looks promising. It does. I like the bit in the middle where someone's just doodled its way through. Leclerc gets back past, though, on Hamilton. That's Verstappen. Oh, and into the pits there. Look, Gasly and Russell both needing repairs, and Magnussen and Tsunoda, Schumacher and Bottas. Everyone wants a pit stop, interestingly, as they make their way through. So clearly this is going to be a smasheroo race by the looks of it. Leclerc still leading the way, though. Hamilton ahead of Perez, who's in the slipstream. This could be juicy for the turbo as they make their way into the Tozer hairpin. Nope. Verstappen on soft tyres would dearly love to get through and try and use those soft tyres. And that might be how he does it. Prophetic words. Oh, no, that's the grass. Not a good look there, Verstappen. Don't do that. Again, 3 wide. Oh, it's a Red Bull attack against Hamilton. Perez gets through. Sainz quite fancies it too. He's on hard tyres. He can afford to kind of chillax a little bit, but not too much. Someone's in the pits towards the back. That's Albon. So he rejoins behind Bottas. But yeah, Leclerc leads the way. And that is, yeah, Perez bails. Oh, Sainz there, I think, was being sneaked into the pit lane by Verstappen. They all made it. How are we doing? That's George Russell trying to get his way past the Aston Martins. Running 10 and 11. That's unusual for them to be going so high. So enjoy that whilst it lasts. Leclerc, though, up front, running away nicely. Carlos Sainz then. Ricciardo up into 3rd. Not seeing much of him there. Ocon in 4th. Medium tyres. Quite damaged. Zhou up into 6th for Alfa Romeo. I think he'll be pleased with that. Soft tyres, though, so he's got to make them work or pit quite soon if he's going to do anything to do with that. Very spread out field as Alonso gets his way past Kevin Magnussen. And that is Daniel Ricciardo bailing out for the pits. Bang on half distance. Same for Norris, same for Zhou. And again, look at the Red Bulls having a proper scrap. They've gone one step different on tyres again, but Perez is just like, no. This is not how things kind of happen. Sainz there, not pitted. Leclerc's not pitted. Both hard tyres. Neither are going to stop. I think the key to this is making sure that they don't smash into the lapped cars as they get around Nicholas Latifi's Williams. Albon will be next up the road. Everyone seems to have thinned out somewhat. Where's Gasly? Third in the championship. 10th in the race. It's not working out well for him. Can't get around Georgie Porgy. Or can he? I tell you what, I've turned into the Murray Walker of trying to say things and then watching them happen. Verstappen not being able to shake Perez as well, interestingly, in that battle for 4 and 5. Ocon's not pitted either. I hadn't noticed that. Medium tyres can go 10 to 15. Now, sometimes people bail out of this, but if you're on your own and you're just kind of managing your own race, yes, those Red Bulls are coming, but Alpine could lap that up quite nicely. So here's Leclerc, he continues on. Sainz continues on. That's only a second now between the Ferraris. Verstappen mugging Esteban Ocon down the straight there. Whoopsie. Hamilton about to do the same on Danny Rick. I think... Well, the AI lines haven't worked out too bad. I did a race on this offline, not on a session before. If I can find it, I'll dig it out. Because I was just testing that the AI line was actually on the track itself. And I ended up with a car that was trying to get into the pits and it couldn't do it, and it just got stuck in the middle of the track and everyone kept smashing into it and everyone was like on fire. I was kind of secretly hoping for something like that, but it's behaved itself disgracefully. Never mind. Ocon though up into 4th. That'll be great for Alpine if they can get that. But who's going to win? This is very much the battle of Ferraris for number 1 stakes. If they come around to lap the Brotas, that could help out Leclerc if he can get past him down this straight. Ooh, yes he can. Sainz immediately through. Pushes Bottas out of the way. Thank you very much. All working very nicely for him. And I think, all going well for Charles Leclerc, he should make it across the line and win on a no stop. Well done. Charles Leclerc wins. A 1-2 for Ferrari. Perez gets 3rd ahead of Verstappen in the end of all of that. Danny Rick, best of the season, 5th. Hamilton, Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou, his best as well. Norris, Gasly only 10th, but still beat home George Russell. Then it's Alonso, Kevin Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda all on his own. Vettel 15, Stroll 16. What is going on with that team? Mick Schumacher down in 17. Not his best race by far. In fact, his worst, I'd have thought. Bottas beats home Latifi, who gets out ahead of Albon. So finally some more points for Nicholas Latifi. Red Bull were the fastest, but they couldn't show it because they spent all race squabbling with each other. So that puts Sainz still comfortably into the lead of the championship. Does that 20... Sainz wins. Sainz... Oh, no, he's not. So Sainz has to finish 18th or higher to win the championship in the last race. Ahead of Verstappen, then Leclerc, Russell and Hamilton. That's a squabble and a half with Gasly in there as well. 3rd to 6th. God knows who'll win that. Perez, Norris, Ricciardo... Mick Schumacher now down to 10th, but I think he's safe there. There's the rest of the field. Constructors, looks like it's Ferrari's championship to win. Then it's Mercedes ahead of Red Bull. That could switch at any moment. I think everything else relatively safe. Haas, Alpine and Alfa Romeo might well switch around as well. So... last race of this test. Let's go to Brazil. P2 to P8 really close, yeah. All right. Spamilton, what you doing, mate? Carlos Sainz looks like he's determined to try and make sure he gets on the front row. Ocon again. I don't know what's happened in these last 3 races. He's woke up in that Alpine, doing a fine job. Mick Schumacher's up there as well. He's desperate to make sure he stays in the top 10. Gasly's not too far off there either. Interesting. Okay, so it's Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Gasly, Perez and Ocon, your top 6. Mick Schumacher in at 8, Tsunoda in the top 10. No other big surprises. Again, Stroll in between the 2 Williamses. Latifi just nowhere compared to everyone else. Don't know what happened there. So, for the final time in this championship test, I hope you've enjoyed it. This is a series I'd absolutely get. It's the one that I get the most comments for alongside PS2 games of what to do. And so I'll be doing many more series of this with other car sets of years and other tracks. Well, I'll make it a good series and a giggle, especially from next Thursday when Circuit Superstars also comes into the table. And is Esteban Ocon about to lead? What? Ocon leads in the Alpine. What is this, Hungary 21? Hard tyres as well. Hamilton's into second, not for long. Perez is going to get through. Yes, he is just about. Hamilton, ooh, that was a chop to put floor on the brake. So it's Ocon versus Perez for the lead. I mean, screenshot that now. Signs up into third though. He's managed to sneak his way through on those medium tyres. Tsunoda up into 6th on the softs. That'll go nicely. Thank you very much for Yuki. Russell around the outside of Hamilton, humbling him for a smidge. Leclerc looks damaged to me. So does Zhou a little bit. Slipping down the order to 11. Especially as you have this massive long back straight here. And look at the difference of like what damage can do. Kevin Magnussen damaged, Mick Schumacher damaged, Bottas less so. Steam's past. So yeah, problems there. And the Williams is just nowhere to be found on this race. And here comes George Russell. It's not been a stellar season for him. Great in qualifying. It's not translated to race finishes. Maybe this could be the one that does so. And this lets him blast past Esteban Ocon into the lead of the race. Can he start squabbling away? Depends. Perez is coming. That was Magnussen into the pits. Here comes Perez down the outside. It's a drag race. Wow, someone called RuPaul because Perez won that one. Down the back straight again. Oh, they've dragged Hamilton with them. Secretly hiding behind the scenes. About to pounce on these leading duo. The more they battle and the more damaged they become, the less good they are in a straight line. And there you go. Hamilton able to use it. Slices past Perez, who'll tack after his teammate very shortly as well, I think. Oof. Yeah. George says no. Hamilton says yes. Into the lead he goes. Mick Schumacher down in last. That's not a good look for him. Ricciardo having a torrid time as well as they come up to overtake the non-stopping Williamses so far. Verstappen down in 13th. Again, it's another early pit stop that's ruined it for Verstappen. He's stuck having to then pass people that he doesn't need to get into battles with. And then things like that happen with slipstreaming. Alonso gets back through again in the Alpine. Sainz has pitted out behind Russell, who is also pitted. They're trying to get round Norris, who I think is going to try and pit. Yeah, manages it. Zhou and Ocon in. How's Ocon managed to end up next to Zhou? They weren't next to each other a few seconds ago. And back out there. Zhou ahead of Vettel, who's yet to stop. Bottas, who has. Tsunoda has been quite quiet in this race. Up into 6th, doing well. And there's Pierre Gasly. Not pitted, but he's not really in the race for this either. And with that damage, I think that's going to probably spell him popping into the pits for a soft tyre run for the last 4 laps. As first Russell goes through, then teammate Tsunoda. Sainz will be next through too. Oh no, touches with the teammate. Surely that spells the end of Gasly's run at 3rd in the championship. It does. Leclerc's in the pits though as well. So that's not going to help either of them. And that smash into the pits on the way out does not help the Ferrari either. Sainz then onto the back of Yuki Tsunoda, having his best run of the season. And that was not his best line round the corner for Carlos. Not a good run for him. Russell well off the back of Perez. Still yet to pit though, Perez and Hamilton. In theory, their tyres only go to lap 14, so maybe you can stretch it out to lap 15 if possible. I would have pitted by now though if I was running that strategy for the medium tyres. I wouldn't have left it so late if I was going to pit, so I think they're going to try and go to the end. But look at George Russell go! Yikes! They've passed Perez. He's now onto the back of Lewis Hamilton. And well, discretion the better part of valour. Through he goes, up into the lead. Surely that's job done for Russell to win the final race of the season and therefore sort out some of his championship. Sainz has got past Yuki Tsunoda in that battle. Leclerc is next. Here comes Ocon. That slipstream is redonkulous. That's all I'm saying. Verstappen's got himself back up into 8th, but again, early pit stop ruining his race. Zhou's car looks a bit knackered, but he's still holding off Norris. Ooh, battle of the Aston Martin. Stroll's had a torrid season, but it looks like he might hold off Vettel for a couple of minutes. Or corners, maybe. And again, terrible time for Williams. But it's a good finale for George Russell, who's going to come over and win the final race of the season and sort out some goodness for his race. For his season as a whole. Hamilton comes home 2nd. Then it's Sainz and Perez. Leclerc comes home 5. Ocon a great 6th, getting past Tsunoda in the end there. Gasly 8th. I don't think that will help him out. Verstappen 9. Zhou 10. Norris. Then Bottas. Alonso didn't stop, interestingly. 13th. I don't think that worked out for him. It certainly didn't work out for Lance Stroll down in 17th. Or Albon down in 19th either. Okay, so let's do a reverse-a-roo of the championship order. So last was Latifi with just the 4 points. Then Albon with 11. Vettel outscored by Stroll. Oh dear. Terrible time for Aston Martin. Kevin Magnussen with 47 points. Zhou with 54. Tsunoda was 14th, behind Bottas. Alpine, after their terrible start to the season, actually done quite well in the second half to get to 11th and 12th overall. 10th, Mick Schumacher in the Haas. I have no idea how he got that podium at the start of the season. Alternative world. Ricciardo 9th, 89 points. Norris, 118 in an 8th. Perez 7th. Oh dear. Gasly ends up 6th, 135. Verstappen, 142, 5th position. Leclerc, 145, 3rd position. Lewis Hamilton, 3rd with 150 points. Which means that win for George Russell lifted him into 2nd. 156. Which gives Carlos Sainz the win with 181. But I think what that does is it means that Ferrari they win the Constructors by 20 points to Mercedes. Then you've got Red Bull, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alpine, Haas. So Alpine lost out to Haas lost out to Alpine in that last round there. Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Williams rounding out the field. And that's it. Good little bit of fun there. I'm going to do one little mini quick race because I am super intrigued around something. So this was how I'd done all of the different kind of AI and stuff. I don't think Aston Martin were like that terrible. I don't think. I mean, maybe I would maybe just bump them up just like a... Let's give them some more turbo or something. So that they don't feel too terrible. I'm intrigued, just for hilarity. Let's try Martinsville. For a single race, let's bring it up to that. Let's do number of laps. Let's do 40 laps. Spectator mode on. And let's put rain at 10%. Just for a little bonus finale before I sign off, before quali. And I'd just like to wish everyone a really great opening qualifying for F1 2022. Stay tuned for some stuff towards the end of next week if you are motor racing fans. I will be, with the update to Circuit Superstars, I'm hoping that adds custom lobbies in the next update. He hopes. If that is the case, I will be launching a Circuit Superstars League. But I'm also looking at racing leagues and just general esporty style stuff for other games as we go. So yeah, please do stay tuned. So let's have a little look at what happens here. 40 laps of carnage around Martinsville in the F1 cars. What's the worst that could happen? Let me zoom out ever so slightly, just so you can see stuff. Oh, Gasly straight into the pits with problems. Yeah, Leclerc leading the way. What's going on with Gasly? Into the pits, mate. No, no, don't keep going round. No! Pierre, what are you doing? He's conked out now. Oh, Perez is going to do the same. No, they're going to push each other. Come on, into the pits, into the pits, into the pits. Something tells me the pit line for Martin's... Oh, no, Verstappen. Oh, dear. This is not... Uh-oh! No, Esteban! Alonso! Alonso, no! Why you do this? Okay, something tells me that the AI line for this needs to be sorted slightly. Who's going still? So Leclerc leads for now. At some point, they're all going to get pushed into a corner, though. That went great. It did, Silverwolf. It did. This feels like Monaco 96 all over again. No, Latifi. Well, there we go. I'm going to quit out from that. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, I'll just quickly round this stream off before we go off and get our snacks and stuff and ready for quali. So that was a PixelGo F1 2022 mod. You download it from the Steam Workshop. Once you've downloaded it once and subscribed to it, elimination race it was. Once you've subscribed to it, if PixelGo then ever updates that, it automatically obviously downloads in the background. What I have found with this game is that if someone then decides to change the name of their mods on this, because I had this quite a lot with the retro stuff early on. I've forgotten the creator that's done that, but they're great little mods to have. If you change the name of the mod, then it doesn't sync up with the game. So what you have to do is delete it and then resubscribe and download from the Steam Workshop, and it corrects itself. Because what you'll see, so say like if I wanted to do like the F1 1996 one, and you've got all of this here. Sadly, no 40 Fords, making me sad. But if I go in and then add in a track, can you see Atlanta and Bristol, old track, save again in editor to fix. So this is where someone has then changed something behind the scenes on the track, or renamed it, or done something with it. So you have to go in and resubscribe, basically. Pocono as well as the other one that's done that with. But yeah, I'm starting to enjoy all of these interesting, like, different tracks that people are making, historical stuff. Hopefully over time I'll be able to like rebuild old F1 mods and go from there. Because like Imola's on there, Portimao's on there. I'm sure I saw Estoril. We'll keep going. So yeah. Cheers everyone. Have a wonderful F1 quali. and I shall catch you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.